Welcome, Gemini, to Grounded Oracles, to this love reading. You are truly welcome here wherever Gemini fits in your birth chart. Know that this is a general read. It's a timeless read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You know the drill. Today, Gemini, we are going to take a look at self-love. We're going to then take a look at love of relationships, as in friendships, community, neighbors, co-workers, family. Then we will do singles love, those looking for a soulmate partner. And then we will take a look at those who are in a long-term committed relationship or marriage and what you need to know. All right, Spirit, you are truly welcome here. Show me the cards we need to see for today for the sign of Gemini. What do they need to see? What do they need to know, be made aware of? To those of you, happy Valentine's Day, whether or not you're single or not. It's a day of love set aside to celebrate all the beauty of love. But know that love can be celebrated every day, and it really should be. All right. Oh, lost half the deck there. All right. What does Gemini need to know about self-love whenever they come across this reading? We do, first of all, have the Moon card, Major Arcana, setting some light on the situation, knowing something in part. And we have the Three of Pentacles, working together, building something. Okay. What else? What else does Gemini need to know about self-love? Here we have the Nine of Swords. Anything else that, all right. And then the Ace of Swords. Okay, so for the area of self-love, Gemini, I'd love to know how you are doing in your journey of self-love. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment box. It often can inspire others to see your story. Okay. All right. Gemini, I feel like there's this area of self-love is something that you embrace, something that you've accepted as something that you need to work on, take more action to. But I feel like this building of a foundation of what self-love should look like in creating a practice. I feel like it's time for you to start embracing some parts of yourself that you may have become aware of, that you have been shown as an invite to look in deeper. And I'm not sure that all of you have accepted that invitation to go deeper. I think it's, for some of you, it's gotten as far as, okay, I see it, I acknowledge it, but you've kind of still been avoiding it. I feel like it's time for you to pick up your sword, you know, get in your head a bit more about this situation and connect your head and your heart about areas that you need to become more aware of, to work with the energies to heal and to expand. Okay. Some of you, it's time to bring in an outside perspective, and from someone you trust, of course. It could be a close family member, could be your significant other if you have one, some close friend, or a support group, somebody that you, could be a counselor, therapist, life coach, someone who can help ask you the right questions. We have all the answers within, right? And it's a matter of sometimes being asked those right thought-provoking questions to dig a little deeper, right? Like, it's very powerful to have some assistance sometimes, not to tell you what you're feeling or what to do, you know that, but to help unlock answers within. So you may want to consider working with someone else to help you, maybe help you set goals and to create some action steps of things you can do to develop self-love practices and to maybe go deeper. Some of you may end up revealing past traumas or just hurts, hiccups, roadblocks, things that are in your way, and you need to learn to master some of these things so that you can grow as a person and not stay stagnant. Okay, Gemini, very nice. Right, is there anything else Gemini needs to know about self-love? Okay, some of you have accepted the invitation to go deeper, and you are getting comfortable with yourself. You are learning to be fair to yourself, right? To give yourself respect so that you can gain clarity on what actions to take. I mean, the Knight of Swords is a fast-moving knight, all about action, has his, you know, his intellect, his logic there used as a tool to help him move forward. So some of you just really need to connect to your feelings at this point, because even though we have the water in the moon card, we don't have water energy. So we really need to look at bringing in our emotions. How do you feel about things? Sometimes we do need to start with the logical and kind of work our way through the emotions to see how we feel, to help unlock that. Okay, yeah, and then we got the Judgment card. So you've heard that calling. That's actually been coming out quite a bit so far in this love series in the area of self-love. Like, it's time, okay? I think it's time for the collective as well to step up and start learning to love yourself more. And we hear it all the time, so I think we get desensitized to it. What does self-love really mean? What does it mean for you? And how can you embrace your light and your dark side? We all have them, right? It's time to face some things that maybe you didn't want to face, or just to put on your take off those rose-colored glasses and start really seeing yourself. Now, if you tend to see yourself in a more negative light, it's time to clean up your thinking. And those negative thoughts can be hurting your progress. And it's time to start setting those aside and diligently work on that. For some of you, this is going to be life-altering. And for some of you, this is as important as life and death. Is meaning, right, the power of life and death lies in the tongue. And you can slowly hurt yourself, slowly decay in your mind and your brain and your body, because all of the thinking gets stored in your body, and you start believing that you are only this or only that or only enough. So Gemini, it's time to step up and counteract that, to fight back, okay? Not fight yourself, but to fight that negative thinking, to start setting some new goals. Okay, it's beautiful, Gemini. Right now, we're going to take look at the area of love, friends, close ones around us. What does Gemini need to know about love, close relationships? Start with the Seven of Swords, sorry. And we have the Seven of Wands. Okay, we have double sevens. You might want to be looking out for sevens in your life for direction, path. For some of you, this will be a confirmation that you are working on the right things. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, stability, standing your ground, making a plan. Okay, what else does Gemini need to know about the area of close relationships, colleague relationships? Okay. All right, and then we have the King of Pentacles. Okay, so I like to see that progression from the Four of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles, you know, building a foundation and then really walking in your power, walking in creating the life you want and living that out in reality. So for some of you, you guys are cultivating and learning to cultivate relationships. Some of you are building friendships in a very cautious way. It's like you've been hurt a lot before. You don't quite trust people. So you have opened yourself up, and you're looking to create a support system around you, someone who can walk beside you and be that true friend to you, someone that you can go do things with. This could even be helping with your colleagues at work, building a strong team so you can depend on one another. I'm seeing you, some of you working in like a small business. This could be your business or another business, or even a larger business with a lot of departments, like building a strong team so that you are there for each other, because some of you, your work is pretty demanding and you may need to rotate times off, rotate schedules to make things fair and equal. So some of you are trying to build community in that sense. For those of you in your family, there's almost, I feel like this, I'm going to say tiptoeing around certain people in your life. This may be close family that you know, their blood, you love them, but they may get on your nerves, right? It may make you feel like you have to put up boundaries, that you have to stand firm with that because they push your boundaries. So you are being asked to look at that from a perspective of, you are in charge of your world. You cannot change other people, and you can accept people for who they are, right? And if you feel like your boundaries have been crossed, people have gone too far, you may need to look at either stronger boundaries or creating, creating some conversation around what needs to happen, because for yourself, because I'm feeling some of you, it's not as easy as just saying, okay, I'm going to cut this person out. Could be the parent of your child, and it's not as easy just cutting out, but you have the day-to-day life and you still have to interact. So some of you are being cautious so that there's not creating more trouble, not creating conflict where it doesn't need to be. So stand your ground, okay? And in the truth of who you are. And for some people, they can see how you respond to things and be inspired by that, so that they want to also make change, right? It's the, you can kill more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. So it's killing them with kindness, right? So some things that you may want to look at adopting here in your love and your relationships. Anything else Gemini needs to know about family, friends, neighborhood relationships? All right, and then we have the Emperor. So I'm loving so far how your reading is showing the progression of things you need to do, and then the last card drawn is just that final major arcana so far to say, this is the potential outcome of this. You already have a strong sense of yourself, even though, you need to work on self-love. We all do. We don't always just arrive, but you are someone that people really look up to. So you're going to be tried. You're going to be tested in a lot of relationships. So kudos to you for standing strong in your power, for keeping and setting those boundaries. But there's a little bit more work to do in some of your other relationships. Some of you need to consider creating more boundaries for new people that you allow into your life. Okay, what else does Gemini need to know? Okay, world, right. All right. Stand strong. Beyond, just be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of the people that you are interacting with and how you're interacting with them. You may have some people that are jealous of your accomplishments and what you have. And there's nothing to be ashamed of for what you have, right? You have love and relationships in your life, and you have worked and cultivated them. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the singles, looking for love, soulmate, relationships. What does Gemini need to know? I'm always going to harken back to that self-love. Don't, be working on that while you're waiting for your soulmate, while you're waiting for your partner. So first out, we do have the Magician card. Okay, manifesting the love life that you want, which the best way to do that is to learn to master yourself, right? And self-love. People will be attracted to how you treat yourself, and thus you'll be treating others with more respect. Not that you aren't already doing that, but right, we are drawn to those things that appeal to us, and confidence, beauty, and self-love is very attractive. Okay. Work on your physical appearance. Not that you have to be perfect, not that you have to be all put together, but making sure you exercise, eat the right foods, because you do want to be in your best health, your best shape, so that you feel good about yourself. You know, right? Part of that mental health, getting your mind, body, and soul connected. All right. Now we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, yeah, definitely. Definitely have some potential for some love partners coming in. Okay. All right. I also have the Three of Wands, so growth. This is something you've been waiting for a while. I think you've done some dating. Some of you may have been married in the past, and you know, you've healed, you've moved on, and it's time to expand your horizons, right? It's time. Your ships are coming in here. All right. And lastly, we have the Five of Swords. Okay. So we have, you know, we have change. We have some things that we need to look at and how we interact with people. And I think some of you may have, in the past with partners, maybe moved a little too fast, right? There may have been some conflict. There may have been some combative energy. Someone may be defensive. That may be you. That may have been another person. But that may be something you want to work on, okay, while you're waiting for Mr. or Mrs. Right, whatever gender, doesn't matter. Because this love offer, it's here. I feel like it's more than just love being offered here. And I feel like while you're manifesting this and waiting for it, you're being challenged to accept some other things about yourself and how you handle love, how you see prospective lovers, right? So maybe, for some of you, this may be about not looking and expecting for certain things. It's okay to have a type that you want, but be open, because they don't always show up in the package that we think they will, or what we want. Be open, because the love of a lifetime can be look differently than what you know it to be. Okay, so we have, oh my gosh, we have the Lover's card. Beautiful in a love reading, all right? So it is about choices, and it is going to start with making choices about how you see yourself and how you see others. You can miss a really wonderful mate just by being stuck in expectations, right? So sometimes they're very, very dangerous. It's important to know yourself. It's also important to be open. You will be very, very surprised. But you have the choice, beloved. You do need to love yourself first, right? You've got to love yourself. And that means by wanting the best for yourself. And the best for yourself may not always come with champagne and caviar, right? It may come in dependent, loving, faithful person, which is really, isn't that really what we want? Okay, Gemini, that is very beautiful. Is there anything else Gemini needs to know? Okay, all right. Lastly, we do have the Devil card. See, again, we're ending in major arcana. Okay, so some of you may have been taking this process and looking at more from a pleasure experience, which is fine to an extent. But for some of you, that may be a hindrance for you. Some of you need to have more fun, more pleasure. You need to embrace the parts of yourself that you even don't like, okay? You're going to have a lot of offers, and you're going to have a lot of potential to look at things differently. So you really need to challenge yourself on this, right? And be somewhere in the middle. I often say the pendulum swings, from the left all the way to the right, but the answer usually lies somewhere in the middle. We can overcorrect things sometimes. So you want to be careful with this. To accept things, give it some leeway, but don't overcorrect. So if you're all about pleasure and this time, you don't have to go all the way over to faithful and dull, okay? Not that being faithful is dull, but doesn't mean you have no pleasure, right? In the day-to-day. Somewhere in between, embrace that, is where the fruit will lie. Okay. Beautiful, Gemini. Okay. Lastly, we're going to look at love and committed relationships, long-term relationships, marriage, whatever, wherever you're at, whether or not you've committed to each other for a day or, a lifetime. What does Gemini partners need to know? Okay. I'd love to know how this reading is resonating for you so far, your view on self-love, your journey to finding a partner, and any prayer requests that you may have, Gemini. Love to assist you in that way. Feel free to leave a comment. All right, what else does Gemini need to know about their committed long-term relationships? Okay, we have the Five of Pentacles. We have the Tower card. We have the Eight of Pentacles. All right, what else does Gemini need to know about their long-term committed relationships? Okay, that one and that one. No, Wheel of Fortune. All right, and then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. All right. So for some of you, your relationships, some of you, the relationships of the past have been hard for you. There were challenges. There was definitely tower moments. And I think it allowed you to wake up to the current present day. So there's two storylines coming in here, but some of it is interfering with your current relationship because you have remnants of the past, remnants of tower moments. But if you don't address them and take care of them, really advance in the healing, you'll have more tower moments in your current relationship. So it's like this storyline in two pieces, right? So there's this, what's happened in the past, but it's in your current, and you're being invited to work on these things, to work hard and master these things and these emotions, and not to project the past on your current partner, so that you can work on this, right? It's going to be changing your perspective. It's about getting stable in what it is that you want and where you want your life to go. And this is also going to be about making sure that you talk about finances, to talk about material goods and wealth, and to talk about those things in this relationship, because that for some of you is going to be the catalyst for this change. So some of you had financial issues in the past. Maybe you are with someone who was very bad with money, investments, spending more than they made. For some of you, it could be neither one of you made enough together, so there was some money blocks. So you're being invited in this new relationship to make sure you talk about these things. Make a plan together. If you don't work together, then you're dividing, right? Divided, you'll fall, right? United, you stand. So you are being invited to do this so that you can change the course of your life and go down this beautiful new path. Okay, so that's one line of story. The other is that the past is the past. The current relationship you're in, you're still being given the same invitation, right? But for some of you, it's been a hamster wheel of 10 steps forward, 12 steps back, and you're just feeling kind of alone in what you're doing and a little lost into what you're doing. There may have been some things like bankruptcy. There may have just been a case where there's no money in the savings, there's no emergency fund, there's no, and this, I'm not looking to blame you, right? There's no judgment here. You should not be judging yourself, but be willing to learn from this, okay? So in order to work through this Tower moment, you need to sit down with your partner and have the tough conversations. And that is hard. It can be embarrassing. It can be shameful. We can be afraid to say what we need to say. So really look into some active listening skills. Okay, take time to hear each other out. Try not to get defensive and create a plan together. This is vital if you want your life to thrive and change. If you want to see your abundance returned back to you tenfold. You know, I'm not saying you're going to be millionaires. Maybe some of you will be. But in order to have the life, the resources that you want, you need to vocalize them. You need to write them down. You need to discuss them with your partner. It is vital. Okay, beautiful, Gemini. All right. Any lasting words or message to Gemini in the area of love? We have the Ten of Pentacles. Beautiful. So much promise, hope here for not just material goods. I mean, to have a roof over your head, to have some money in the bank, a car to drive. But this is also about major love investment into yourself, Gemini, okay? And your relationships around you. So put the work in and you will see results. So Gemini, I am very excited about your reading. I would love to know how this resonates for you. I hope you stayed here to the end. And please share this with others so this can get out to other Geminis, because this is very hopeful and it's just a very beautiful read. So have a great day, Gemini, and stay grounded.